Hello, and what is going on, everybody? It is Master of the TDS, and I'm joined by my lovely wife,
WritingRaven.
And we're back for another episode of Psycho-Synopsis.
Indeed.
The segment where we summarize all the Psycho for you. Just a scattering of topics throughout the week, all summarized into one neat little package for you to enjoy and consume at your leisure.
You're welcome.
Now, we got a couple topics to discuss today, but without further ado,
let us bring in our first client, Marvel.
Marvel Studios casting director Sarah Finn recently confirmed that the film production company will continue to embrace the representation and diversity agenda that has seen the Marvel Cinematic Universe fall into decline.
Why?
Nobody's saying that diversity or inclusion is a bad thing when done correctly. We've stated this multiple times, and we've had various movies and TV shows that have actually done pretty decent with some messages and stuff like this in mind. But building a product around this, rather than making it a part of it, is the biggest problem here.
Always a bad idea and always ends badly. And they don't seem to get that after, 4 or 5 years of doing it?
It's gotten so bad that you could see we have some standard A representation stuff. Like, this is like stuff I believe straight from NBC or whatever, I don't know exactly where.
Whatever it is, looks like it's from their new rule book.
It's basically like how many people need to be available in this show and need to have like this amount of diversity and this amount of this and this amount of that. It's literally become like, the best analogy I can give at this point is, instead of trying to, if we're imagining that this was a kitchen, right? The best analogy I could give here is that they're just taking the measurements and throwing them into a pot and hoping it makes food. Versus actually saying, hey, look, I need this amount, this amount, this amount, and then I mix them, and then I do whatever. They're not taking the time. They're just throwing a bunch of stuff in and hoping that it works and seeing what sticks. And that's not how you make food, nor is it how you make a film or TV show that is actually something that will get your attention.
Well, technically it is how you make cholent.
That's a different story. But the point is, like, they're throwing all these things in here, and they don't actually know what they're doing with them. That's the biggest problem, is that having 50% or more characters reoccurring are from unrepresented groups.
What does that even mean?
That could be anything. Plus, let's say you do that, right? There's a way to do that organically. But they're not going to do that. They're going to take this and take a narrative and build a narrative around this.
And honestly, I would say that at this point, it's the straight white men who are the underrepresented group.
You can't say that, honey, because Twitter will get mad at you.
Get mad! I said it!
It's also true.
Yes, it is. So are the redheads.
Let's not get into that. Twitter hates that. But the point is, as I said, they basically just throw these stuff in and kind of see what sticks. And that's not how you make a compelling and good story with good characters. Instead, build a narrative and put these things into it in an organic way. Don't change your narrative for these things, and don't build your narrative around it. Make a story and put these elements in.
For people who demand that other people go vegan, they certainly don't know how to do things organically.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
I'm not surprised to hear this. Marvel has not been doing too well. Now, I want to clarify when I'm saying it's not doing too well, is that it is doing well. They have made money and they are profitable. Let's be completely fair here.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, the amount of people coming into the movies has been on a decline. And that is what the biggest problem is. It's not that they're not making money, it's that they're bringing less and less people into the movies.
Indeed, they are.
But like I said, not surprised to hear this. Marvel's going to continue to double down on this kind of stuff, and they're going to see diminishing returns. They will still make money. These films will still be profitable. But for how much longer? Don't know.
Indeed. Moving on. And speaking of Marvel, we have MODOK!
Is it time for my close-up?
I love that.
While the exact details have yet to be revealed, the new Ant-Man 3 trailer does confirm Corey Stoll's Darren Cross has become MODOK in the MCU.
And it really does look like Mr. Electric from Shark Boy and Lava Girl, a seriously underrated film.
I don't know. I don't love that film. I thought it was okay for what it was. It was very corny.
Yes, but the story behind it was good. I liked it as a child, okay?
I'm not saying it didn't have some charming elements to it. I'm just saying overall it wasn't a great movie.
Would you take that over everything we're getting these days? Yes, I would. What?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen it in such a long time. I do know they brought him back in some sort of Netflix thing and they were aged up or whatever. I don't know.
Lame.
But the point is, look, I'm not bashing on this. Maybe it looks better in the actual film. But you can look at that face and you tell me if that looks like MODOK.
No.
It doesn't.
Not at all.
Now, to be fair, MODOK was never going to translate super well into the MCU to begin with.
That is true.
It's a character that's meant to be very strange looking, very out of the ordinary. So the fact that it doesn't, translate well to live action is not surprising.
And why is it smiling? I've never known MODOK to smile.
I don't know. I just think that this film will make money, make no mistake. It will make a lot of money. The problem I'm seeing here is that they, again, are making changes to canon and stuff like that. And again, it could be a great film and I could be eating my words. But with it, as we said, how things have been going for Marvel, it's on the decline. And when I see things like this, all I can do is laugh.
I know, especially when you saw that part with supposed Kang shooting those energy beams out of his hands. Didn't we laugh?
I laughed, but not because I don't think the actor's a good actor. What I didn't like was I felt, first off, Kang would never do that. Mm-hmm. And second, it looked like they had tried to project his face onto his helmet, and it didn't work.
No, they should have just painted his face blue.
And also, why didn't you just make Kang look like that in Loki? Oh wait, because that would require extra budget. You would need to make a giant stretch face man.
True. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this.
I don't feel at all. Again, maybe we'll be wrong, and maybe it'll be a good MODOK or whatever, but I'm not going to go see this. I have no interest in seeing this. I've heard some things about the film already from behind the scenes and other things like that are just basically about how this film's basically about how Scott, lets his daughter, lets fame go to his head and, doesn't pay attention to his daughter, and his daughter gets sucked into the quantum realm, and then he has to go back to prove he's a good father. It's just
that doesn't sound like his character at all.
But it doesn't even sound like his character, but it's also that it's boring.
The full first movie was him trying to make enough money to support his daughter and help his ex-wife with the kid. He just wanted to, be a dad. What happened to that?
MCU happened.
Oh, good point.
Yes, 5,000 people on Twitter cried. And when I say 5,000 people on Twitter cried, it's because I said MCU, and it's because 5,000 of them, meaning that there's technically 5, and they each have 1,000 alt accounts.
Yeah, that's likely.
I don't know. Long story short, again, hopefully this will be something decent. Again, we haven't seen a really good Marvel product since Spider-Man No Way Home, which again, the Marvel elements of that wasn't exactly amazing. It was more they were bringing back stuff, so maybe we'll see something like that again. Who knows? But this does not fill me with confidence.
Not at all. It just looks weird. How they have fallen. And we will continue to laugh as they fall, while pointing.
Yeah, I guess. There's definitely a big enough object to point at now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it brings an old new saying to the face that's only a face a mother can love.
Ouch! Moving on. And next we have Jeremy Renner.
Prayers for Jeremy Renner.
Yes.
The aftermath of the accident revealed a shocking development regarding his health, which is the possibility that he may never be able to walk again in the future.
I'm not surprised, honestly. With that kind of accident, I was fully expecting him to have to lose a leg.
Now, we've heard a little bit about the accident, but I've actually done some research, and I actually got a kind of play-by-play of what happened.
Oh?
So basically, they were clearing off some kind of road that was covered in snow, and he ended up towing a car or something with his snow plow or whatever that he ended up being able to do, or he ended up towing the snow plow with something, whatever, and it was fine. But then it started, because the ground was unstable, it started to roll. And he tried to jump back into the seat of the car
And he missed.
And he missed, and so, yeah.
Ow. Ouch.
And it kept rolling until it came to a stop.
Yeah, but I'm really not surprised. Like I said, when I heard about this accident, that it ran over his leg and how much blood he lost, I was fully expecting him to have to get it amputated.
They're actually saying that might happen. I really, really hope that it doesn't happen.
So do I, but I will not be surprised if that is the case, God forbid.
Yeah, I won't be surprised either, but look, whether you like his character of Hawkeye or not, or you like what other portrayals he's had, seems like a decent guy. Mm-hmm. And, we never wish harm on these people. I really hope for the best for him and for his family. It's been a crazy time for him. I'm glad he's alive.
Absolutely.
But, we'll have to wait and see. I really do hope it doesn't have to be amputated, or that they can do something about it, because it would be nice to, have him... Again, he's probably going to have some kind of lasting damage. That's just par for the course.
Absolutely.
But I really hope it's the least amount of damage possible, that he recovers and that he's able to go back to movies and stuff like that. People are saying he'll never be able to play Hawkeye again. I disagree. I think there are ways they can bring him back, but it's not important at this point. What's more important is that he gets better and that he's able to go back to his life with the least amount of pain possible.
Indeed. Refuah Shalema.
We're praying for you, Jeremy.
Indeed we are. Moving on. And next we have Ezra Miller again. Why does he keep on coming up?
You underestimate my power. Ezra Miller has accepted a plea deal that will allow the actor to avoid jail time in the case of his burglary of a home in Vermont.
Sigh!
Long story short, and again, I want to make something very clear because people on Twitter seem to not get this. There have been so many articles about this. If you cannot take the time to go look it up yourself, then I don't know what to tell you. Ezra Miller does not care about his pronouns behind the scenes. He only dates women, and he does not respect other people's pronouns. This is documented in multiple different places. Please go take a look and review it yourself before coming back and getting mad. Because we're going to call him he, because he doesn't deserve to be called his preferred pronouns, especially when it's determined that he doesn't actually honor anybody else's or anything like that.
True.
So, he's been charged with a lot of different things, but now basically because of his status and because of what dirt he must have, they literally gave him a plea deal where he admits to whatever, and he gets to pay a $500 fine, and he's to abstain from alcohol, and he gets blacklisted for a year, and then he gets to walk off scot-free.
So basically, he gets no punishment at all. The man deserves jail.
Now, people are saying, oh, he must know something, whatever. I agree. But I want to make something very clear. Make no mistake. Ezra Miller is getting special treatment, not just because of what he knows, but because of what he identifies as.
He is literally using diversity as a shield. They always do in Hollywood. That's why they get away with everything.
Yeah, and if someone wants to say, oh, that's not true, a good example is JD. JD had allegations, not even evidence, and they kicked him out of all the movies. This guy has hard evidence, video footage, testimonies, a bunch of things. He gets a slap on the wrist, $500 fine, and he gets to continue his movie? You kidding me?
And they're going to be keeping him on for future movies, whereas JD gets fired from everything. Double standard at its peak.
Now, we don't know for certain they're going to keep him on. It's rumors that they've mentioned that they will be. But you're right. I think it's ridiculous that this is even happening. I think the fact that he is allowed to just get a slap on the wrist and walk away is the epitome of privilege. And it doesn't actually help the communities that he's a part of or claims to be a part of. Because now, this is who you have who represents you guys now. Mm-hmm. You happy?
I doubt it, but they're going to pretend that they are because reasons.
And they're gonna correct people with the bad pronouns. Let me tell you something. If your life is so boring that you have to go online and try to find anybody who talks about him and correct their pronouns, then I don't know what to tell you. You need help. This person is not normal. He needs help. And he's getting it, and they're saying he's doing well, and I really do hope that he is, for his sake. But I don't think he should get to walk off scot-free, let's be 100% honest here.
Yeah.
I don't care what he identifies as. Walking off scot-free with no punishment or anything, a slap on the wrist is ridiculous.
It's stupid is what it is, because he'll just end up doing all of this again.
Well, hopefully the help he's getting won't end up going to that, but I hope you're wrong, because I want it to be wrong. But I think this, you want to keep him on for The Flash? Fine. You've made the movie, it's whatever. But then afterwards, you cast someone new. So I expect to be hearing that he has been put aside, and that will be the correct thing to do. Not because I wish ill on the guy, not because I think that he deserves, to never work again. That's not what I'm saying. I think he deserves repercussions for his actions, and one of the things is he should not be able to continue as the Flash because he is becoming an icon that's supposed to be a hero when he behaves like a villain.
What he said.
That's all I have to say. Again, I hope he still gets work or whatever. I hope he really does find help and get better. I think we all can agree that we don't want the guy to end up, killing somebody or injuring himself, whatever. We want him to get better.
I think if we knew the type of therapy he was receiving, we would know if he was actually being helped.
I don't know, and I may never know. But the point I'm going to say here is that I hope he gets the help that he needs. I hope he can get rehabilitated. But I don't think that enabling his behavior is the right way to go about this, because as you already said, honey, it just gives him an incentive to do it again because he could just get off again. Now, keep in mind, I don't think he could do the same things again and get off this time. But I do think that he gets a certain amount of leeway because of his labels and privilege, and I think that that's ridiculous and needs to change sooner rather than later.
I agree. Let's move on. And next we have everyone's favorite topic for the past week, Velma.
Mindy Kaling be like, and I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling cisgender, white male, misogynistic, racist bigots.
Whee!
And as you can see, racism defense,
your show just sucks.
The first 2 episodes of Velma have arrived on HBO Max. They haven't really impressed critics, but audience reviews, those are brutal.
That's putting it mildly.
Now, as you can see, my post was from 2 days ago at the time of making this video. It's gotten a lot worse since then. That post got a lot more attention, but also the score has gotten a lot worse. It's at, I think, like a 50% fresh now, maybe even lower, and it was at a 7%.
Yeah, 7% audience score now.
And I want to make something very clear. I'm not saying that Rotten Tomatoes is the bastion of truth and that we believe what it says or whatever, no. What I'm saying is that it's a good indication of definitely how the critics feel, let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting to see when the critics and audiences align. That does not mean I think that either score is the correct score for it.
Yeah.
I think it's probably around the 30, maybe a 40 for on a good day. It's not good. I've seen things from this show that I couldn't even show here. Like, they have a scene where they make Fred do something that's synonymous with certain people who killed lots of people in World War II.
People who were our own ancestors, mind you.
Yeah, so I kid you not, that's in the show. And I've heard a lot worse things from it. And the funniest part is Mindy Kaling has come out with a statement kind of basically showing a picture that it says that Velma has been like the top most watched premiere on HBO Max for an animated comedy ever.
It's a comedy?
The highest grossing amount of watching on HBO Max for an animated comedy ever. So you had to add like 8 different titles to it before it could even be something. The first ever!
Again, it's supposed to be a comedy?
The only thing that's been comedic about it is how bad it is and how much fun I've had meaning on it.
I suppose that part is true.
I even made another one before this video posted, but if you guys don't follow me on Twitter, you won't see it, so... Just saying! Nobody's surprised by this, but what I've seen the most is that most people on both sides don't like it. Both sides. And the majority of people who do find it passable, from age 30 to 34 and women, the whole show is basically white men bad, and just, if you haven't looked into this stuff, read a synopsis of what the show's supposed to be about. You'll understand exactly, because the synopsis is accurate.
Quite. Which we will not even repeat.
Trust me, we could make an entire video on just the Velma stuff. There's enough of that stuff out there to do.
Plenty of people have.
But we're not going to. Instead, we're just going to report on it, and we're basically going to say, like, nobody expected any different. It's actually worse than people expected it to be, which is sad for whatever. And I don't see it getting picked up again. Maybe it will just because of viewership. But I want to clarify, my wife and I have not watched it, nor do we have any plans to.
Not at all. I will not curse my brain with such horrendous stuff.
Yeah, I don't want to even see that. And I'm a therapist, so I'm desensitized to a lot of this stuff. I don't want to see it, even in animated form. Yes, there is that kind of stuff on the show. Again, we haven't watched it. We're just reporting on the news around it. And I think it's ridiculous that there's already places saying, it's being review bombed!
Check off the bingo.
Yeah, you guys don't fool anybody. And what about the critics? The critics are review bombing it too. Where's the problems with that?
Cricket, 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 cricket.
Oh, that's right. It doesn't fit the narrative, right? Got it.
It never does.
You know what else doesn't fit the narrative?
What?
The show.
Yeah. Moving on. And next up we have Wednesday.
Are you normally this stupid, or did it take practice?
Probably both.
While Wednesday was a huge step forward in recognizing the character's ethnicity, the show still faltered when it came to representing its other characters of color.
Shut up, you crazy people.
And as you can see, it says Wednesday is due for season 2, and it's time to hire more Black and Latin writers.
People could easily mistake that word for latrine.
That's what I thought it said.
I think it's supposed to be pronounced Latine. It's a step up from Latinx, apparently, but still a slur.
How about you don't choose what people get to say or what people want to be called? You keep screaming and yelling about how we shouldn't misgender, we shouldn't do whatever, we need to abide by your labels. But then when these people are like, hey, only 2% of our population actually want to say this word, you keep pushing it anyways. And when it fails, you come up with another one. Guess what?
What?
You're hypocrites.
Pretty much. And, I don't care what anybody says. The Addams family was never Latino to begin with. Just because his name is Gomez does not automatically make him Latino. They were always a white American family, albeit a goth one.
Yeah, and as we've said before, we've discussed Wednesday in kind of depth on our reviews. We still have 4 more episodes to go with that.
Yay.
You can check out our latest one up on the channel. It's not a terrible show. Jenna Ortega actually carries the show. Was surprised by Luis Guzman's Gomez, was very, very surprised, pleasantly so.
Mm-hmm. Pugsley is unfortunately a wimp. Catherine Zeta-Jones is a horrible Morticia.
And if you want more information in detail, you can watch our reviews, as I said. But to summarize this, these articles come out when shows do well, and I want to clarify that the show does have woke elements. It does have stuff in it that was not good and took us out of the show, but overall, the writing was mediocre, but the acting was great, and the set dressing was great in certain elements, and that's why it's a good show. That said, I could have done without the smash the patriarchy lines that we get every, little once in a while.
Yeah, or the mansplaining lines, or the male gaze lines, or the other line that you absolutely hated.
Yeah, we're not going to that. As I said, you can watch our reviews to learn more, but yeah, all those lines were in the show, and the fact that these articles are coming out just goes to show you that these people will never be satisfied, no matter how much you pander to them, no matter how much you try to be woke or progressive or whatever it is you want to call it, they will never be satisfied, so do not cater to these people. Don't. Just don't do it.
And don't call Latinos by a word that can be easily mistaken as latrine! That is such an insult!
That, and also, how about when the Latino people tell you we don't like something, and you want us to all respect your labels or your genders or your sexualities or whatever you're coming up with, and we have to call you by this pronoun and that pronoun, and if we don't, we're bad people, but yet you're allowed to do this? Hypocrites. How about this? I'll call you by your preferred pronouns when you stop forcing your labels onto other minorities. How about that? Sound like a good plan? Oh wait, that's right. You won't do it because you're hypocrites.
Yeah, but you were never going to use their preferred pronouns anyway because you prefer calling someone by their name.
Yeah. Regardless, this is ridiculous. I'm not surprised to see this coming from, I believe CBR was where this came from. Trash publication. Mm-hmm. You probably didn't even watch the show. So how about you go do that first and shut up?
Yeah. Like we said, it's a good show overall, but it did not need the forced wokeness.
Yeah, and this is just ridiculous. Just shut up.
Seriously. Moving on. And lastly, we have J.K. Rowling.
You realize I still get paid, right?
Evidently not.
Artist who removes Rowling's name from Harry Potter books is expressing a point of view, but still paying for the books, which means J.K. Rowling still gets money for them.
Ha ha! Sucker.
Again, we're not going to comment directly on J.K. Rowling's views and how we feel about them, but J.K. Rowling has said some things that have made certain people in the trans community, whatever, very upset.
Yes, but I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. I don't agree with everything J.K. Rowling says, but I still respect her as an author and recognize that she has the right to her opinions. Why can't more people do that?
Because these people live to be offended and look for reasons to be offended, and that is their perpetual lives. It's not just being LGBTQ or trans or whatever, it's being a perpetual victim.
Either way, I'm still going to give her more money by buying more Harry Potter merch and Hogwarts Legacy when it's on sale.
Yeah, so this guy is taking books and using, like, X-Acto knives and cutting out the pages with J.K. Rowling's name and rebinding them in, like, different things to bring awareness for her transphobia. Which isn't the case, first off, let's be fair. And second, it doesn't actually change anything. You still paid for those books.
And then he's reselling them as separate books. I mean, the covers aren't bad, I won't lie about that, but still, she is still getting money.
Now, I don't blame the guy. I think the guy, hey, get your money, dude. If idiots are stupid enough to pay extra money to get these kind of books, fine, go ahead. But just keep in mind that you're buying the books, which means J.K. Rowling is still getting a big fat paycheck. So anybody who's buying these off you who thinks they're doing some sort of statement, they're not. And it's just kind of funny to see this because what are we going to get next? Book burnings?
They've already been doing that, honey.
Yes, I'm making a point saying, like, if you don't like what someone says as an author or as a whatever, then it doesn't have to go to their product. It can literally be something completely separate from the equation. There are certain actors that I don't like what they say, but I like their characters when they play in certain things. That does not mean I have to like them as a person. They are two separate things. Learn to live in reality with the rest of us, or stay in your own, close the door, lock it from the other side, and make sure none of us ever have to experience you or tolerate your existence. Thank you.
That would be nice. Though I will say that I one day hope to get J.K. Rowling's level of contract, even though these days they literally rewrote laws in order to make sure no one ever gets that kind of contract again. How rude.
Anyways, ridiculous, kind of funny. Guy's gonna make a bunch of money off of this, and do whatever you want, dude, but I think it's just funny because either way, she still gets paid and you just get her more attention with books, with all articles talking about her, so her name gets more attention. So whatever you think you're doing, you're not.
Good for you, JK. Moving on. And with that being our last client of the day, it's time for us to reveal the diagnosis of the week.
And we have a very fitting diagnosis for this week.
Indeed, do tell.
So the diagnosis for this week is virtue signaling narcissist.
Please explain.
Basically what this is narcissistic people will virtue signal and broadcast their morals and values while highlighting the people out there who are morally deficient or not on their level or whatever. So it's not just enough for them to signal and be like, look at how progressive and whatever I am. They also have to belittle you and everybody who doesn't feel the same way. Now, for most people, basic human decency would be a thing. But for these people, they don't have empathy. They don't actually care about anything they're doing. They're doing it to get attention to themselves or their brand and to highlight you people in a negative light. This is literally Hollywood these days. Hollywood literally's whole goal is to gaslight. They even use what's called outrage marketing to get attention from people because they can't actually make anything good anymore on their own. So they have to either pander to an audience that doesn't exist or do the opposite of what people want so they get them mad so they can drum up attention for their products. And it doesn't actually work. Like, for example, as we said, the Velma series got very good watch hours, but the next two episodes, going to be a huge drop-off because no one's going to stay. Your outrage marketing is over. And that's why I feel this is a great diagnosis for this week.
I agree.
And now we move on to the remedy of the week.
And this week we are sending you to Lorena Creole. Florida woman, very nice lady, has had us on one of her streams a couple times. She does park hopping, pop culture reviews, video games, is a fellow Slytherin, woohoo! And all around a really, really nice person.
Yeah, and we actually unfortunately missed a chance to meet her when we were in Orlando, which we regret. Mm-hmm. But she has actually just passed, I believe as of yesterday or in the last couple days, she has actually passed 4,000 subscribers. So congratulations to you, Lorena. Mm-hmm. We're actually hopefully going to have her on a stream in the next couple days.
Indeed.
But yeah, so head on over there.
Grab your park hopping stuff and let her know that Gothic Therapy referred you.
Indeed. But that is all we have for this week. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and also make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe with notifications on so you do not miss your weekly therapy session.
Or you will be charged. But remember, when you do subscribe, your first session is free, so smash those buttons like they're bad kitties. And do consider joining us at the Dusk, Midnight, or Dawn level. We would appreciate it quite a lot. You can also find links to all of our socials in the description below, as well as links to our merch store and our Discord server known as The Clinic. Be sure to check them out.
And we don't plug this enough, so just so people don't, if people don't already know, we are on Rumble and Odyssey as well. So if you guys are not fans of YouTube and you want to go over there, you very much can do so.
Indeed.
But yeah. That is all we have for this week, and we will see you guys in the next one.
Gothic Therapy, out.